make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
All right, good evening and welcome into Greeny Sports Cards Live for the 100th time. Can you believe that? Tonight marks our 100th broadcast episode beginning way back on January 30th, 2024. Greeny and I set out on this journey to bring you week in and week out hobby news and influencers and athletes and entertainers and coaches. And it has evolved into this juggernaut of a show that we do every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, here on Greeny Sports Cards Live, the world's first multi-stream broadcast, of which we did over 100 episodes ago. And we continue on, and we can't thank everybody enough for their support, the people that tune in week over week, both on the live show or catch all the content we redistribute on all of the channels. So if you are participating, it's an interactive show. You can comment. You can interact with us, with our guests. If you have questions, drop them in the comment section, wherever you may be watching, Facebook, on Twitter, the X, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. If you're consuming this content on Twitch, make sure you interact with us and keep the show going as we do every Tuesday. So we'll take a little bit of a look back here in a minute. We'll catch up with Greeny and talk to him. What a weekend he had. 2 shows this weekend, and he'll give us a state of the hobby industry from his perspective on a small local show, about a 30-table show in Twinsburg, and a humongous mall show that took place at Great Northern Mall. So he's got a really fresh perspective on the energy and enthusiasm from the hobby here in Northeast Ohio. We will talk with our resident hobby expert, Joe Wismierski at Phoenix Sports Cards. He'll bring you the hobby news of the week in an extended format. We'll get to talk to Joe. And a little bit later on, we'll welcome in from Key Cards, both Steve Lunn and Matt Key. They're in Jeffersonville, Indiana, which probably pretty excited about the results of last night's national championship game. So we'll get their perspective on what that does for the hobby market in that area, as well as their shop and their passion for the hobby industry. So that's a bit of the rundown here. Yeah, we just can't thank everybody enough. And we'll get to it. So here's your quick hits for the hobby industry this week. First up, this is January's release calendar. It is already shaping the market. Football is driving the earlier chase with Prism, Donruss, Optic, and Immaculate leading the charge. And baseball, soccer, and even golf are getting in on the action as collectors reset for 2026. The second note on quick hits tonight is Replay Sports is expanding again, this time putting a flag in Nashville. A new franchise location will open up in spring of 2026, continuing the trend of hobby retail scaling into multi-market brand experiences. The third quick hit for tonight is rare 1968 Nolan Ryan, Venezuelan Nolan Ryan rookie has surfaced into Heritage Auction, and you can get in on that action. It is one of the toughest versions of his rookie card to find, a headline piece for vintage collectors, and you'll catch that on Heritage Auction. Our fourth quick hit is the NFL playoff fever is, of course, heating up with the quarterbacks pushing the market. Drake May, Bo Nix, and the rest of the young guns are seeing real movement as postseason narratives heat up. That is directly from Sports Collectors Digest. And Sports Collectors Digest also brings us this news that REA's January auction is stacked with Jordan, Brady, Ohtani rookies, all anchoring the first major auction cycle of the year. So strong early liquidity and a good sign for the high-end market as the year kicks off. So that's your quick hits. We've got much more to come with Hobby News and Joe Wismirski. So with that, let's go ahead and welcome in the man himself, Steve Greenberg, aka Greeny, owner, operator, proprietor, card show manifester, a man of many hats and many talents, and my longtime friend, longer than both of us would like to admit. Greeny, welcome to your show.
Thanks, Jeremy. Another Tuesday night, 100 episodes, and we don't do it in seasons, Jeremy. We don't take off, for the summer or winter break. I think we missed 4 episodes in 2 years.
2 years, yep.
Few travel things. I think a Veterans Day was in there, and the National, but was in there. But yeah, it's a pleasure to do this every Tuesday night and bring hobby news because there's no shortage of it every week. Things are happening. You just mentioned in the quick hits to quarterbacks. Well, Bo Nix is not playing this week, so that's a little different. So we transitioned in a matter of 24 hours from Bo Nix to Jared Stidham, right? His cards are selling today. Nick Foles, a couple of years ago.
And Greedy, we could ask Joe about that when we bring him on. So you've got a situation where Bo Nix was hot all playoffs. He's proving himself in the NFL. He gets hurt. Is this a good time to buy or sell? Because now you've got a quarterback that looks to be in it for the long term.
Yeah, you know what? I had a conversation with a friend of ours who has a pretty big Bo Nix, and he sent it to auction the day before that he broke his ankle. And I said, you know what, man, people are still going to buy his cards. He played really well. It's not like they're down on him. He didn't lose, right? He got hurt, and he'll be back next year, and he'll be one of the favorites to be, an NFL MVP or something.
So Green, you mentioned 100 episodes. The 4 we missed in 2 years. That's just shy of 200 guests and hundreds of thousands of views in that time. And so really awesome stuff. And so, we've kind of landed where we'd hoped we'd be from the outset, talking about shows around the country every week, talking to promoters and producers and giving a sense of the hobby. So really, really proud of this little engine. Appreciate Haley on the board behind the scenes coming on early on when we saw we needed some help to get this thing going, and she's been with us for almost the entire duration, and lots and lots of guests who continue to bring us unique content every week. So we mentioned earlier you had a really big weekend here. Friday and Saturday was the Great Northern Card Show, and that took place at the mall. Free show, free parking, huge food court, really great amenities. The mall is spectacular. And then on Martin Luther King Day, yesterday had a smaller show in Twinsburg for about 30 tables. So you've got a perspective of a small, intimate show and a mall show itself. So let's talk about that and what you sensed between this weekend. What happened and what's going on out there?
Yeah, what did happen? I can tell you, Adam did an amazing job. He got that place set up with the help of a couple of our vendors, John and a couple other guys. Tim helped out, so we appreciate all their help getting these tables set up. But man, Friday and Saturday, what an absolute turnout! It's interesting. I didn't really think about this kind of until today. Malls are like their own visitors bureaus. We've talked about how we do shows in different cities and we connect with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, but that's really kind of what a mall is. I mean, they have, I don't know, let's just say 50 to 60 different stores in there. They have the food court, and the mall's job is to bring events like this into the mall for everything, not just the show, but to go to these other stores. And the economic impact that we created in that mall this weekend, we heard from the mall event coordinator. He sent a message today that, I mean, it was terrific. I mean, it was wall to wall people all weekend long, and as busy as I've seen them all in a long time. So we just appreciate everybody that trusts us to put on these events, and they come because the vendors are there, and the amount of transactions that they do, whether it's trading, buying, or selling, because there's people that do all three, right? There's people that come to shop and buy. There's people that come to sell. I know that on Monday, our show in Twinsburg, there was a few vendors that were mixing, and one of them said to me, he's like, I know what you bought, and you should see what I bought, and you should see what the other guys bought around me. Like, there was no shortage of things that were walking in to this mall for vendors to purchase. And then the amount of sales that they did. I know Alex, who will be on tonight, had an unbelievable weekend with his Pokemon sales. He did terrific. When I say later tonight, he'll be on eBay Live doing the auctions. But yeah, what a terrific weekend. Friday, Saturday in the mall, and then we did a show here locally in Twinsburg, where we're based out of, Glen Eagles Golf Course. Terrific room that they have. I really, last year we did it on MLK Day, and we had the community came, and quite frankly, it was interesting. It was the same type of weather. It was really cold and it was really snowy, and a few people were on their phones yesterday going, "Man, school's getting canceled tomorrow," just like last year. So last year on the Tuesday after, schools got canceled as well. But the amount of people that came this time was unbelievable as well, to the point where I asked the event coordinator there, like, "How did the kitchen do?" And she was like, I had to serve. It was that busy in there. So Barb had to get back there and serve. The restaurant was busy. The cards were busy. This hobby is not going anywhere anytime soon.
It is not. So you had two locations in Northeast Ohio, probably 45 minutes apart, if not upwards of an hour, over across the weekend, and no shortage of people. I got to spend some time out at Great Northern Mall on Friday, and I don't know what happened for a few years with maybe the mall shows got a bad rap, or it just wasn't the right time, but there's definitely a resurgence. And as you mentioned, the amenities are exceptional, particularly with our partners at Great Northern Mall. It's clean, the parking, there's hotels right across the street. It's accessible on the freeways. And then you get in there and you've got your food courts and merchandising that a mall typically has. And they do a terrific job as well in filling the aisles with entertainment and content, and there's a video arcade, and so a kids play center. It's kind of built in to be an entertainment center. And then when you put 150 tables in there experientially, what a terrific show. So kudos on the Great Northern Card Show. There's 4 iterations of coming up later this year of that show we'll get into. And of course, the Glen Eagles show on Monday. Greeny, next up is the Ohio State Card Show. They're up on deck coming up on January 31st in Columbus, Ohio. Let's talk about the Ohio State Card Show. Where do things stand with that just about 2 weeks out?
We're closing in on 300 tables. I actually put a post up today challenging people to get us at 300. I think we were at 276 when I made that post this morning, and I can't remember offhand if we got 7 or 10 more tables today that were booked. And people ask, what's the percentage of Pokemon versus sports? And I'll tell you right now, it's darn near 50-50. It might be 55-45. I'd really have to go check the notes. But this morning it was pretty close. I think there was only a difference of 4 or 5 tables. And then there's 10 other tables of things like fan art. We got some 3D printing and things like that. Supply guys will be there. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty, even keel, right? TCG and sports. So it'll be pretty good. I think we're going to get to the 300. And if we don't, we're pretty close. So I 275 plus tables is pretty good for a first time show there for one day. And I mean, we can't wait. The VIP will be at 9 o'clock, and it's only $5 to come in early. And then at 10 o'clock, general admission's free. People have asked, and we have all these sponsors here that helped us get to that level of free admission, with all their help. And they'll have their own booths there, so you can visit each one of those people and thank them for helping make this a free admission show. So we can't wait. Next Friday, the 30th, we'll be down there. Show Saturday the 31st.
Saturday the 31st. That is at the Ohio Expo Center and State Fairgrounds, Kasich Hall. Upwards of 300 tables. And of course, that takes place on Saturday. We talked to Brad Beeman last week on the show. The Grove City Card Fest is the following day on Sunday. So if you're in the area, that's upwards of 600 tables in the Columbus area that weekend. So make sure you keep that on your radar. If you're within a couple hours drive or you want to spend a night or the weekend, Columbus is certainly a worthwhile city in and of itself. But come on out. Check out the Ohio State Card Show on January 31st and the Grove City Card Fest the following day on Sunday the 1st. So, Greeny, great stuff. As you mentioned, sponsors supporting the Ohio State Card Show. We can't do this show without sponsors. And one of those we want to thank is Sport Card Auction. Of course, Dave Cook and his team at sportcardauctions.com. If you are looking to turn your card collection into real cash, get with Sport Card Auctions. If you don't know where to start, call Sport Card Auctions. If you don't want to do the work or the heavy lifting, get a hold of Sport Card Auctions. They'll take care of you. They have over 15 years of experience and a 99% satisfaction rating. All you do is ship your cards. They'll handle the rest. They'll price it for you. They'll pack it for you. They'll ship it for you. And if you don't know where to start, but you've got some cards that you want to put up for auction, reach out to sportcardauctions.com. So thank you to Dave and his team. And yeah, we'll keep it rolling. Greeny, again, can't do without the sponsors, can't do without content. And one of the guys who's been with us a long time now, week in and week out, is our friend and hobby insider, Joe Wismirski of Phoenix Sports Cards. And let's go ahead and go coast to coast and welcome in Joe.
What is happening, gentlemen?
So it's minus 12 degrees here in Cleveland. What say you?
I think we're probably hovering the high 60s right now. Yeah, high 60s. Sure. But no humidity in the air. So it gets a little chilly, it gets a little brisk at night. But it's that desert, right? It's a dry cold. I don't know if there's such a thing, but yeah, I did see quite a few of my colleagues being originally from Michigan, experiencing that crazy weather. So everyone, stay safe on the roads and don't be in a hurry to go nowhere, please.
Hey, what about the Verizon outage that last week? I saw it was in parts of Arizona. Did that affect you guys at all?
As an AT&T customer, Steve, I noticed that there were no issues. Okay. Even here at the shop, we have AT&T Wi-Fi, so no issues from us.
That's great.
We were just humming along, and
they fixed that tower by your house.
Well, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. But Steve, we're talking about how busy the hobby is, and it was nonstop. We have the reemergence of dollar boxes and people actually having fun coming in and digging through the $4 and just collecting cards again, right? Like there's nothing crazy, but the names and the card art and those type of things are continuing to drive the market, especially when in a shop like ours, we have the ability to service multiple customer levels, like people that are just in there to get the 5 for $1, or someone who's looking to roll the dice and pay $1,000 for a box. So it's pretty interesting. It's been nonstop.
Well, it's getting close to that time of year where people are going to come to you to buy cards to get signed at spring training, and they love those 5 for $1. And they're not looking for the top tier guys; they're looking for the late round picks that have a Bowman first card or a Bowman prospect that they can go to. What is there, 13 teams in that area? Maybe a little more, 15. I can't remember, but they can go around and get their autographs, and they love to do that. And they come from all over the country to go to their team's specific spring training.
Well, it's already started too. So, we've had people in here, but I did put a post up today. We had a gentleman who's from Williamsport, who does a lot of traveling around. He does van build outs for traveling around, but he stopped in, wanted to see what we thought about. He had some player worn pants,
Hmm.
Pujols and Clayton Kershaw, but then he pulled out these other pants, and they were game worn Shohei Ohtani pants that he
Wow.
wore in 2019. He wore it on back-to-back days when they played against the White Sox. There was dirt from his slide into home plate. It was pretty cool to see the stuff. And they were like when the Angels wore their throwback uniforms too. So, dude, it was wild. And in talking with this gentleman, he thought he hit the lottery because he won the pants on eBay.
Wow.
And he won it for like right around $4,000, I think initially is what he was saying. But
In
that was
2020.
right.
Right.
So that was prior to some MVPs and some
Sure.
World Series championships. So just to be able to see a piece of history like that, um, especially for the people that are absolutely wild about game worn stuff, it was really cool. It had the MLB cert on it. I even said, "Hey, I did in the post. I said I'm going to tag Fanatics and Tops because who's to say they wouldn't want to buy those and put them in a card product, right?"
And any chance that he can get those signed at spring training? Oh, you're not getting near Otani though, are you?
You have to be good, right, Steve? So
Right. If you
um,
don't try, you're not going to get it.
you have to really be plugged in. So you have to know the people at the facility. Maybe he's getting in to do some early training, and you kind of need to know the times. That's where it's going to be, you know, I guess really important if that's your role to get out there to get it signed. But he's just, I mean, he's such a hot commodity. There's no way you're getting that close. I don't even know that he would do. I mean, it would cause such a ruckus at one of these spring training facilities for him to be signing during spring training. So it's wild, Steve.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Good for that guy. I did see the pictures. I think that was MLB certified too, right? It was
They
something like
are.
that. Yeah.
Yep, they're
Oh,
100%. You know, Steve, too, when we talk about just how busy the industry is, I know Jeremy did give a rundown of what the calendar looks like, and a lot of things have been pushed back, right? So we do have Prism football that should be coming out shortly. I feel like the dates are constantly being moved. But I think Panini recently did a Dutch auction where the floor was like at 2,000. Maybe it was a first off the line. I can't remember exactly, but like, I mean, it's sold out. Like that's
mm,
crazy for Prism football, and we're already at the tail end of the season. But like we spoke before, they're gonna force feed you products until that license agreement runs out, and I think that could be good for the collectors and consumers because they are going to need to load these products with tons of autos and that kind of stuff. So it could be fun.
yeah. Let's go back a second when you said people are coming in and digging through cards. Jared Stidham. We see people ask for him. Do they care? Is that Nick
Uh,
Foles 2.0? Like, can it be?
come on, Steve.
Can he?
I,
Does he create himself a job next year for another team?
Jared Stidham will get crazy if they do the unthinkable and they upset New England. Even though they're the home team,
Yeah,
I just think, you know, Drake May is just riding in. That defense is incredibly tough.
they are.
Um, you know, I get that the Broncos are on the heels of a massive win against Josh Allen, so much that it actually fired their coach. I get that, um, but honestly, Steve, I don't. I would be cautious with the Stidham hype. There's some people that are crazy prospectors and they think he's the guy, um, but Stidham kind of already had that hype once when he was in New England. Like they thought he was going to be the heir apparent for Brady, and that wasn't the case. And I think a lot of what Sean Payton's doing is hyping him up so that you have to have confidence
Sure.
in your guy who's going to be taking the reins. But I mean, right now, I still think it's Bo Nix's team, like you had mentioned before, Steve. Um, what a freak accident, right? You're kneeling down and the ankle breaks.
If I had any Jarrett Stidham cards, I would sell them. Sell.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
buy.
I'm just not hearing that anyone is really asking for it right this second. So
Sure. The other thing I wanted to bring up, and Haley can post this on here. Did you see last week that Fanatics is making a credit card for collectors? What do you think of that?
I just heard that from you, Steve.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, Steve. I think there's a
I mean, every piece of the pie Fanatics wants, right? I find this to be dangerous to somebody. It's what do they call that? A marker at a casino? Is this the same thing, right? You're putting a credit card in the hands of people to rip product.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than people offering the credit card from the casinos like MGM and Caesars and that kind of stuff. Like, but at the end of the day, I don't know what to say, Steve. I mean, yes, they're spreading themselves out throughout the market, but be good at what you do. I don't know that finance and that kind of stuff is what they're great with. I mean, maybe they're lending the name out for a partnership, which would be my hope. But who knows? I mean, people also second guessed it when they opened their own sports betting site. So, and then when they did the Red Rookie Redemption, knowing that that could be funds that were turned in towards, actual gambling funds, like it's credits, right? So, I guess a lot of people didn't think they were going to do great when they were primarily a fan apparel and clothing brand company, and then they bought Tops and saw how they did things, and now they've spread the hobby, right? The goal initially when they came in was to 10x the hobby, and they're doing that thing.
Sure.
For those who qualify, I guess that's a good thing. Maybe you can get some kickbacks on some products.
Maybe.
But there's nothing, I don't think free boxes or deals on boxes beat free airfare and things like that. So, I mean, who knows what their rewards program is going to be. But dude, credit cards and collectible cards to me aren't in the same lane. And they never will be. So, but
Jeremy's
again,
muted. He's trying to say something.
That's the funniest thing I've ever said. No, I said they're all, some of the effect of it's all just cards, right? Credit cards, trading cards.
Yeah, they can, they can earn you things and they can cost you things. So, what I will leave you with on this though, Steve, is that Fanatics has a great opportunity, whether it is through the credit card promotion, whatever they're doing, or just in general, like in this spring, you really are starting to see more and more people be exposed to the hobby and learn about the hobby. You were mentioning how crazy the shows were this past week. Well, anyone who was on social media and follows the hobby knows that the Dallas show was absolutely insane, even to the point where Nate Burns went on and he was talking about raw grade reviews that Beckett was doing and how they upped the price from, I believe, $25 to $60, and the line was still around the building. So somebody knows something. We don't see any slowdown in this hobby, and that's great for us. It's just, we need to be those protectors and kind of guardians of how great this experience actually can be to those future collectors and people that are new into the hobby, because it's not necessarily a drive by and drop a negative comment type situation. It's about education and just kind of building up, what people have the opportunity to do within this hobby.
Great advice, Joe. Tell everybody where they can get more advice from you, both online and in person.
Wow. Jeremy, you can come and see me at 59th and Thunderbird, Tuesday through Sunday. We are open. Phoenix Sports Cards. We would love to chat about sports and just see the cool stuff that you have. We're a different shop here. We're not gonna, just say, we're not buying today, that kind of stuff. Well, we want to see what you have, right? And we want to take a look and be able to tell those stories for you. And then also you can see me on Wednesday nights for Cut the Nonsense on the Sports Cards Nonsense Network on YouTube.
Great stuff. What's the preview? What's tomorrow night's episode?
Dude, it's more quarterback talk, and I hope they're able to go back and kind of the persona that I have on that show is that I do know everything, and if they could go back and pull the information of when I was telling people in early August to buy Drake May and Bo Nix. And now we're kind of at that point where the I told you so, it's so grandiose. I don't even need to say it or speak it anymore on that show. So
Good stuff, Joe. As always, we appreciate it. Tell Raymond we said hello.
I will. Thank you.
Good deal.
Thanks, Joe. That was Joe Wismirski of Phoenix Sports Cards, our resident hobby insider, joins us every Tuesday night. And the show is presented by Collectibles on SI, which of course also powers Cut the Nonsense. And for all your hobby news, head over to Collectibles on SI. Go to si.com/collectibles, and you'll be in tune with hobby news. Our thanks to Joe for joining us. Greenie, as we said earlier, this is our 100th episode, which is hard to believe. Again, that's 200 guests, hundreds of thousands of views, and lots of time spent here with us together. And we want to take a quick look back, probably an embarrassing look, but let's go back to our very first show and what that first sort of introduction and minute looked like. And then from there, we will go into Card Show Live and tell everybody about the hottest card shows to look out for this week. And a little bit after that, we're going to welcome in Key Cards, both Matt Key and Steve Lund, and talk to them about Key Cards and their journey in the hobby. So, Haley, let's take a look back at that first minute or so of the first show.
All right. We got it. We're live. We are live. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you joining us tonight. Good evening. Welcome to Greenie Sports Cards Live, a new kind of presentation unlike any we've ever seen before. We plan to bring you sports talk, hobby news, interviews, coaches, athletes, and influencer interviews, and interesting content along with a cast of characters that you'll get to know as you stick with us. We're rookies in this with you, and we're going to be featuring a whole slew of rookie cards available for purchase. We'll be talking about those cards and having a good time tonight. Without further ado, let's bring in the man himself, the guy who allowed us to be here. We'll bring in Greenie and welcome him. Talk a little bit about this endeavor, and then we'll jump into the live auction.
All right, Jeremy.
Good evening. Greenie, how are you?
I'm well. Excited for our inaugural rookie show, rookie in the show, and then rookie cards. So
for sure,
get it rolling. Come a little bit of a way.
We've come a little bit of a way. And, as far as we come, Greenie, we've done what we said we set out to do. And we've had some interesting guests. We've had some great conversation. We've been able to do lots of interesting things and events because of this little engine. And we'll keep it going as long as we can. And we can do that because of the support of our sponsors, friends, and partners. And one of those is Giannino's Pizzeria.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm a year older now, so Mommy can give me Giannino's pizza. Hey, whoever thought of making a great tasting Giannino's pizza with all these fresh ingredients? They gotta be some kind of genius. More, Mommy.
Every Giannino's pizza is made with fresh dough, delicious tomato sauce without additives or preservatives, and fresh provolone cheese shredded daily. For a location near you, go to Gianninos.com.
You want a piece of me?
Our thanks to Giannino's Pizzeria. We say it every week, Green. If you're anywhere in and around Ohio, make sure you find a location for the best pizza, pasta, wings, and salad dressing. And what else can you say?
I like Giannino's. I like their pizza. They have this pizza called Piccolo, like it's double pepperoni. My dad loves it. It's terrific. So
I like Giannino's. Yeah.
Greenie.
Big weekend last weekend, lots of shows. Big weekend coming up, lots of shows across the country. Let's hit it with Card Show Live.
Welcome on into this edition of Card Show Live, where I'm going to preview some of the shows around the country. And for the first time in a while, we don't have one of our own shows, so we get to relax. We'll probably check out a local show or maybe even take a road trip. But here are some shows that are going on in your neck of the woods. DuPage County Fairgrounds in Wheaton, Illinois. Premier Card Shows. They have their website, premiercardshows.com. You can check it out. They advertise over 200 tables. They're in Building 1, Saturday, January 24th. So make sure you head to their website and find out all their information. 230 tables. That's pretty good at Wheaton, Illinois. So, out there, I don't even know where Wheaton is. I should have looked on the map. But either way, you can find it. You can hit over 200 tables and check their website out, premiercardshows.com. From there, you can go to Scottsboro Sports Cards and Memorabilia Show. And I love the name of this place. It's kind of why I picked it out. It's in the Goose Pond Civic Center, right where you think it would be in Scottsboro, Alabama, right? The Goose Pond Civic Center. But 150 tables. Stephen Moore runs this show. You can find everything. They have a Facebook page. They have Instagram. I wonder what they collect down there. I assume Ty Simpson or the quarterback there, he's probably pretty hot. Anything with Nick Saban's name on it or Alabama. But check that out in Scottsboro Sports Cards and Memorabilia Show at the Goose Pond Civic Center. And our friends, HB Cards, Haley and Ben out there in Valparaiso, Indiana, have their Porter County Fairgrounds show on Sunday, the 25th. 160 tables. This family does terrific. Their store is open. They do a lot of TCG and Pokemon. So you're going to want to check this show out. Valparaiso, if you're a basketball fan, you've heard of Bryce Drew's shot. That's where they are, Valparaiso. The Porter County Card Show. And you've seen HB Cards. They set up in Shipshewana. They have their show in South Bend. And this is a second show that they're running. So check out the Porter County Card Show, Sunday, January 25th. Then we have another show. This one is in Iowa City, Iowa, Johnson County Fairgrounds, which we've noticed that is really, like we talked earlier, mall shows are a big hit. Fairgrounds are a big hit around the country as well. Several in Ohio and down in Nashville, the big national shows in a fairgrounds. So check this one out. Iowa City Card and Collectibles Show, 80 tables. That is Sunday, January the 25th. And like I said, we don't have our own show, but there is another local show in Mentor, the Great Lakes Mall Show. Justin, one of our friends, runs this show. 90 tables, and it's probably pretty close in a 50-50 split of Pokemon and sports. That is in Mentor, Ohio. That is the Great Lakes Mall, right outside the city limits. So nice mall. You can go there, check that out. Also, if you're in that mall, the Seatown Sports Cave, a friend of ours, John Swoboda, who set up with us at Great Northern, has a shop inside that mall. So you can do any of it. You can hit the shop. You can hit the shop.
Very cool. You mentioned John. I got to spend a little bit of time with him over the weekend. Yeah, like you said, everybody crushed it out at that Great Northern Card Show. So that's this week's shows for Card Show Live. Greeny, really looking forward to a conversation with our next guests here with Key Cards. It is a shop out of Jeffersonville, Indiana, and has quickly become a trusted hobby destination known for a sharp selection of singles, wax, supplies, and a customer-first shop culture. They've built a reputation as a collector-friendly storefront where the modern hobby feels accessible, organized, and fun. And with that, we will go ahead and welcome in Matt Key and Steve Lunn of Key Cards.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, perfect. We got you both in the same shop. Perfect.
Yeah, we're one for
one. One for one. That's right. So, Matt, the rumor is you drove all night home from Dallas. So tell us about that show.
It was probably the busiest Dallas that we've ever been at as far as foot traffic goes. The quality dealers are always kind of the same, but it was the busiest the show has ever been for us on Friday and Saturday, just for the retail customers. And you keep hearing it more and more about how like the hobby's growing, it's not dying, things like that. But just to see that in person, it's a real statement that it is a true thing.
I see a lot of posts from a lot of people that go to that show. Ryan Bannister, RBI crew, the stuff that he picked up, the stuff that Nate Burns picked up. What kind of stuff? What kind of business? What did you guys do down there? I know you're saying, but did you pick up anything that
Ton of
the
sealed
coolest
product and things like that we can't get back at the shop, and then a lot of singles, things like that. But we kind of view Dallas as more of a selling show. You know, we do a lot of buying at the store and things like that. So we view that as an opportunity to go down there and sell a lot of things that we may not be able to here at this actual store.
Perfect. Go ahead, Jeremy.
All right, Haley and I are playing with some audio, getting some feedback. So, yeah, saw about the day we were staying on the Dallas show. Saw a lot of feedback, good, bad, and not necessarily indifferent, but some of the shows are almost getting too crowded. What was the customer experience like? Could people get down the aisles? Could they interact? And is that becoming a challenge in that venue in Dallas?
Honestly, it's kind of always been an issue for me at Dallas. I've yet to go to a Dallas and the aisles haven't been packed. You kind of got to navigate, squeeze your way through and things like that. So I would almost say that's kind of one of those things that people expect when they go to the Dallas show. I wouldn't say that it's one of those things that makes it fun or anything like that, but it's definitely one of those things that people expect.
So let's go back a little bit before you guys really got into this adventure of opening a shop there in Indiana. What was it like when you guys were growing up? You guys, I know that you kind of like you started the shop, then Steve came along. But Matt, take us back to when you were a kid and your collection, and how did you get to where you are now?
So oddly enough, I was a collector, young kid, and I actually went to a store that was a block away from where our retail location is here now. That closed about 15 years or so. So there hasn't been much in this area, but I was the first grade kid that if he was good at school every week, my mom would take me to the store and I could get a pack of Pokemon or baseball cards. And that's kind of what I look forward to. I was a big Red Sox fan. So, I'm 31 now. The 2004 year with the World Series was big for me and big for the collecting side of things for me also. Took a break once I got to high school, focused on like life, sports, things like that. And then pre-COVID, my godson got me back into it. It was just kind of one of those things where I was ripping packs like crazy. Didn't realize I had a problem when I did. And the wife was just kind of like, man, you have to do something. Like you have to get all this stuff out of our office. It's on our kitchen table. It's everywhere. And at the time, me and my wife were going through IVF. And I was playing around on Whatnot. And it was like, I could do this, and everybody says that. So I started one of those things where I viewed it as like, maybe I could just do like one IVF payment a month out of this. And it's kind of turned into this crazy thing we have now, to say the least.
And recently, Steve, you've joined this craziness that Matt's kind of created in Key Cards. And you've brought along your own craziness because I've seen kind of what you're doing. Like, how is this working? How is the marriage happening? What's going on here with Key Cards?
It's a happy marriage that includes our third partner, Eli, who you might have seen in the background there for a second. We're open, so he's manning the desk. It's been really good. I've been mistaken for being Matt's father at least 3 times at shows.
It happens at every show.
Which I'm 14 years older, so it's possible. But I look older than that, so I get it. And I never take offense to that. I had hair when we opened the shop. It's not there anymore.
He's known you a while. He knows.
So it's been fun. Yeah, being a little bit older and being a collector first, like I think most people who are in this hobby / business were and are. I went through the junk wax era and thought that I was going to pay for college with my 89 Topps factory set that I kept in pretty good shape. Through college, just did a little bit on the side, I guess you could say, while playing sports and working, and then got out of school and got a real job and did that for a long time. But always cards was, a side gig. It was always something that I could go back to, continue to collect, but also make a little money. And about 3 years ago, it really didn't make sense for me to keep making money for somebody else. It made sense for me to go full time into cards. So yes, it was a good fit, because quite honestly, I did not want to work in a retail card shop, and I'm not here very often, because what I do with cards is still full time, but it's not within the walls of a retail store. Whereas Matt and Eli, that was what they wanted to do. And so it made total sense for us, being that we get along so well, which we do, to join up, hire a few people, and have a go at this. It's going really well. We opened in July.
Guys, what makes a great hobby experience for somebody going into a retail shop? Talk a little bit about your vision and how you present the shop so it is a top experience for collectors.
I'd say a big thing with us is we want everyone to feel welcomed. It doesn't matter if you're buying anything, buying a $1,000 card or a $5 card. We want everyone to feel the same exact experience. Pricing in the market, it is what it is, but people want to feel welcome when they come in. They want to feel happy. They want to be able to come back and feel the same way. So we've just always made sure that everyone's experience every time they walk through the doors the best that they can have. And I feel like that goes a really long way.
I'll add that, you were talking about Fanatics there. So I'm going to have to go apply for a Fanatics card so I can earn some rewards, apparently. The outline that Fanatics and Panini and the distributors have laid out there over the last couple of years for what they want in a hobby shop, I think do make sense. They've said, gone are the days of walking into an old, dark, dirty, disorganized place that happens to have cards stacked up everywhere that, hopefully you can buy something. Gone are those days. And that's perfect. That was a great idea. I agree. So as we were going through the process of building this thing out, we kept all of that in mind. Well lit, organized, large, a space for people to sit down and open the products that they purchase from us. Things like that many card shops, even some that are open today, just don't have. So Matt's 100% correct. The experience is a big part of that. We want people to feel welcome, and we designed this to feel that way too.
Yeah, that is the new thing that they want, the customer experience. I know, Steve, you and I have probably been to hundreds of card shops around the country. I still do like the dingy card shops with the boxes to dig through, but there is something to be said about the comfort and feeling welcome, and the guy that's behind the counter not just sitting there with a cigarette, and that's how it used to be in the
Right.
90s, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like you said, it's great. I mean, the shops, they're well lit, they're comfortable. You can open a box of cards, you can get sleeves and top loaders, and that is the new customer experience. And I mean, that's what's keeping the actual younger generation of collectors in here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I don't mind the dark, dirty ones either, because sometimes you can find some good stuff in there.
You can, and you can find good stuff in key cards as well. So
we hope so.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the other things too. You have the shop, you're open there most days, but you went to Dallas, so you are doing shows. You're going to come up to Columbus. Why do you feel the need to still do the shows with the shop?
Just with shows, I feel like you can source inventory and specific inventory much better than you can, just waiting for it to come through the door. There's a lot of things that our customers come in and they say, man, I wish I could find this, or I've been struggling to find this. And when we go to the shows, we really pinpoint those things. And then like Steve was saying, we're not direct with Topps, Fanatics, things like that right now. So, when we go to the shows, we're also looking to get wax and things that we're just not able to obtain here.
Yeah, the bulk of the people that I have met in this business came from shows. Meeting different people from different areas who have different collecting habits, comes from shows. I find them fun to do. We are doing more this year than we've ever done combined. So it's just, to me, it makes total sense to travel around, especially the big shows that, just have new people. It makes total sense to do that. And I love doing it. I like traveling. Sometimes the family tags along. Matt's the same way. Other times we leave them at home, which is fine too.
Yeah.
And and it's just an enjoyable way to spend most of the time a weekend. We're really looking forward to Columbus, because outside of Grove City, I don't think we've done one in Columbus before.
I'd say another thing is like the relationships that you're able to build on the road. If it wasn't for some of the people or some of the relationships that we've built while traveling and doing the shows, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are today. And you learn a lot as well. You see different perspectives, the markets in different areas of the country. It really does help you understand everything.
Steve, you mentioned a word that was going to segue into my next question: fun. You guys are running a business. At some level, this is very serious business for a lot of people. Do you still have fun? Is this enjoyable? You mentioned the traveling and the shows, but does it still feel like when we were kids, to an extent, collecting and opening packs and being awed by the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. If you had told 12-year-old Steve that one day he would buy and sell sports cards for a living, he might have asked you for a mental evaluation, or just to double check to make sure you were serious. Yeah, it's absolutely a dream. The fact that I get to do it, and I always explain to people who act like they're jealous that I get to do this, rightfully so. It is still work. I work more hours than I ever have in my life. Matt works more hours right now than he ever has in his life. Eli works more hours than he ever has in his life. And so, it's not as simple as just hopefully showing up and selling a whole bunch of stuff and making a bunch of money and then going home. It's still a whole lot of work. But yes, I've never had so much fun in my life. Matt?
Yeah, just to touch on what Steve said, it's fun. I enjoy every bit of it. Obviously there's stressful days, but there's going to be that with anything. But definitely blessed to be able to do this, and it's kind of crazy to say that I do, to say the least.
So you mentioned sourcing cards to bring back to the shop for collectors there. Well, I don't know how close you're 2 miles from Louisville,
Yes.
but you are in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And Indiana won a national championship last night. So what are people looking for in your area there?
So that's one of the things. We were dead set on getting a couple Mendoza autos when we were in Dallas. Unfortunately, only one of them made it home, but we did bring some of those. That's probably the hottest thing in this area since the Ellie De La Cruz pop about 2.5 years ago. I've definitely noticed more and more people, first-time buyers, things like that, coming in, just regular Indiana fan and wants a Mendoza card. So that's definitely a thing. And then, like you said, with us being real close to Louisville, we pinpoint your Louisville players and things like that as well. And then Kentucky basketball, any time or near this area, is big also. So that's another thing we'll look for.
That's so interesting to me that you have Louisville, you have Kentucky, you have Indiana.
Yeah,
that's not our area at all. Like, if you're in Cleveland, you're not buying Tigers. You're not right at Michigan. Yeah. But where you are, you're kind of right in that area. Like, yeah, you're able to do that. That's interesting.
I've always found, I moved to Louisville 20 years ago, from Cincinnati, so not that far away, but from the very beginning, I've found Louisville and the surrounding area to be heavy on sports and diverse in sports. There's a lot of Cubs fans here, certainly plenty of Reds fans, Bengals, stuff like that. But we run into people all the time who are diehard fans of teams that are somewhat regional, but not necessarily nearby. So it's a diverse group.
So
What are you guys looking forward to this year from the hobby?
Ooh. That's a good one.
The Fanatics credit card first.
I'm a big Topps guy, so I'm actually excited for the Topps release. I was a Topps Chrome kid when I grew up, so I'm really excited to see a lot of the license release as far as for basketball, Pristine, Topps 3, things like that. That really gets me going. I'm looking forward to that personally.
That's a good point. I'm a 90s collector first and foremost. So I was just having a conversation today with a friend about all the cool Topps and Stadium Club and Chrome inserts from the 90s that they've already started to reintroduce in baseball over the past couple of years. But I have to believe that they're going to bring back a whole bunch of those for basketball and then football moving forward. And I think that stuff's going to be nostalgic for the folks who collected it back then, and new enough for the folks that are maybe new to collecting, bringing the best of both worlds there and sell a whole bunch of it. That will be fun.
So in I don't know, less than 2 weeks in Columbus, you guys will be set up. When a customer comes to your table, what sort of things will they see that you guys kind of carry?
We have a wide variety of stuff. We don't really box ourselves into one category. We'll have, affordable cards to some of your bigger grail pieces, every major sport, TCG. We try to bring a little bit of MMA, UFC, that type of stuff with us also. So, I mean, really any and everything for anyone.
That's what
Yeah.
hanging around here. So that's interesting. We know we have people ask, is there ever wrestling, MMA? Well, now I know where to direct them.
There's always a little bit of that stuff.
You never know what people are looking for. So, when we were in Dallas, I took 2 Dragon Ball Z cards, and I had a guy come up and
What?
But his mind was blown that we had them, and it made his day. He bought both of them, and just that little thing, it reassured, like, you should still bring these things because you don't know what somebody's paying their money to get into a show to then go and look for. So, we could have been the only 2 cards that guy bought that day, and that made his day. So, I mean, that means a little something.
Well, guys, we're really looking forward to seeing you in about 2 weeks here in Columbus for the Ohio State Card Show, January 31st on Saturday. And Matt and Steve, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find you both on the interwebs and in person there in Jeffersonville.
Yeah, so we're on Facebook and Instagram, Key Cards LLC, whatnot, eBay Live, Key Cards LLC, and then YouTube as well.
And the address right there is correct. 409 Spring Street in Jeffersonville. We are open 7 days a week, a whole bunch of hours, as Matt and Eli can attest.
Yes.
Wonderful stuff, guys. We appreciate it. And we can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you for having us.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks. Our thanks to Matt Key and Steve Lunn of Key Cards. Our thanks to Joe Wismirski, who joined us earlier for Hobby News. Thanks to Haley on the board. Thanks to Alex Schott, who will be on live at 9 p.m. Eastern. If we've done 100 shows, he's done about 200 following us, and then going on Thursday at 9 o'clock with the live auction on eBay. So check that out. And our thanks to all you that continue to check in week over week, either on this live show or staying in touch with us across the socials at all the live events. Of course, there will be 31 events in total this year for Greeny Sports Cards. And the next one up is the Ohio State Card Show on January 31st at Kasich Hall in Columbus on the grounds of the Ohio State Fairgrounds. So Greeny, great stuff. As always, thanks to you, and may the cards forever be in your favor.
Yeah, what a ride. 100 episodes, and we look forward to 100 more. So thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. And as always, have a good night, everybody.